First weekday in December, and that means time to look at the monthly forecast. Hi, Matt Noyes, 1 degree outside, Weather Network, 1degreeoutside.com. First of all, we've kind of been close to where we should be in terms of getting our first snow. It was indeed in October in some of the far north, and then November for a lot of the rest of us. So now, do we stay on schedule, end up filling the snow in across the remainder of southern New England now that we're in December? Certainly that's a possibility for a lot of us here, especially when you consider that the jet stream overall, and I'm not going to belabor the jet stream because we're going to talk a lot about it in pattern predictions, but overall, we're going to maintain a jet stream trough that's colder than normal conditions, gives you a better normal chance at what falls may be snow, or at least have snow with it in the first half of the month. What's interesting is at mid-month, a wild card comes into play. Now, at first blush, if I stop things along the 11th to 12th, you might say the wild card must be the storm that looks like it'll be developing along the eastern seaboard. Well, if this is right, then yes, you'd finally pick up some Gulf of Mexico moisture, and that may be one of your bigger precipitation events. But no, the wild card for the monthly forecast, again, pattern predictions we do every Monday looking out 2 weeks, but for the monthly forecast, I believe is out in Siberia. So there's been a lot of these kind of rounds of intense cold in Siberia, and it's going to build again over the course of the month. The question is, and this is December 17th, as we get to mid-month, does that cold unload toward Alaska? And if it does, that opens the door for cold to also come spilling into the northeastern United States in the second half of the month. Or does it get held up across Siberia, allowing for some ridging to continue near Alaska? That would allow for some cold to sneak into the western U.S., but actually the east would be warmer than normal, which isn't to say warm. You're going to be in the second half of December by that point, but warmer than normal. And that would offset the cold start to the month, but not entirely. We really believe that even if you were to make that change in the second half of the month, which honestly we think we would lean toward that happening, the cold, at least relative to normal, may ease a little in the second half of the month, you're still going to end up below normal most likely, just by the fact that you charge out of the gate with colder than normal air in the first half of December. Warmer than normal for the month out across the west. And then I guess you could say a bit more of a wild card in the center because it depends on whether or not the warmth starts to try and come back in the second half of the month relative to where we begin. But colder than normal with a normal high in Boston of 42.2, a normal low of 29.2. And if you look at our 14-day forecast right now in our Noyes 1 degree outside weather app, you'll see you're colder than that even in the first part of the month here. Interesting when it comes to percent normal precipitation in the month of November, basically looking up over the last 30 days, 300 to 400%. In some of the nation's midsection, and some of this area was in severe and extreme drought. Now we've started to light that up a little bit farther to the east, but notice even with the recent storminess that we finally have started to get in New England, that hasn't changed us from being drier than normal in the last 30 days. And frankly, we think we probably will be drier than normal in the next 30 days for that matter as well. The reason we say that is because even with the troughing in the eastern United States, generally this trough axis, the center of the trough is a little too far east to get big coastal storms going again and again, which you would need in order to get above normal precipitation, because actually it's already really high for December. The normal precipitation in Boston, rain and melted snow, is 4.3 inches. So we think that's probably a stretch. Now, notice we have not gone for a solidly below normal precipitation in the north. And the reason is when you get these clippers, they can pull in moisture off the Atlantic and off the Gulf of Maine, and on the north side of them, you can get a little bit more snow, especially when you get some mountain enhancement. So northern New England, you actually might do okay in terms of snow over the course of this month, even if you did check in with slightly below normal precipitation. Again, watch it 14 days at a time. Danielle and I have you covered. It's totally free. Our Noyes 1 degree outside weather app on both the App Store and Google Play. Hope you have a wonderful month. We are excited to keep you posted every single day of it, storms or sun, at 1degreeoutside.com and on the app.